Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside the Cage, where we bring you the latest and exciting updates of UFC. First, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Chandler's reaction to Adesanya Plessis conflict. Here it seems like Michael Chandler is thoroughly entertained by the ongoing beef between Israel Adesanya and Dricus Plessis. You know, their recent clash at UFC 290 added fuel to the fire. Plessis managed to secure a bout by stopping Robert Whittaker with a second-round TKO. But the real fireworks ignited when Adesanya and Plessis engaged in a heated stare-down. Guys, it's clear that tensions are running high due to their trash talk. Dricus is from South Africa. I'm not going to get into the whole thing, obviously, but he is from Africa. Adesanya is from Nigeria, Chandler said. Some words were being spoken about who's African, who's not African. Who's this, who's that? And since those words were said by Plessis, Izzy has had a target fixed firmly on Dricus's forehead. It has been interesting and fun to watch. In actuality, Chandler was present at UFC 290 and had a ringside seat to witness all the action. It must have been quite an experience. And it's interesting to hear that he was sitting close to Adesanya in the crowd. Just imagine the anticipation and tension in the air after Plessis secured that impressive victory over Whittaker. I have some inside information because I was right there with him and I watched it happen in real time, Chandler said. I think videos have been posted of it. I think I saw something on Instagram, but I watched it. Dricus gets off of Robert Whittaker's body after he TKOs him and he's running around. Within seconds of that happening, Izzy starts going nuts and saying, "I manifested this." It's always nice to see some positive moments among all the intensity of a fight night. Adesanya getting a chance to catch up with his former rival Kelvin Gastelum at UFC 290. Guys, it sounds like a heartwarming encounter, right? In all the situations of Adesanya and Dricus, Dan Hooker made it clear that they believe in their fighters' abilities. He mentioned that Adesanya has already visualized victory over Plessis. Undoubtedly, it'll be exciting to see how Adesanya performs in the fight. Can't wait to see how it all unfolds inside the octagon. Ronda Rousey rumored UFC return in new division. Recently, a buzz is surrounding Ronda Rousey's potential return to the UFC. With the news of her departure from WWE and the recent retirement of Amanda Nunes, people are speculating about her comeback. According to the reports, Rousey will be leaving WWE before the next WrestleMania. What's the issue, then? It seems like there's a set date for her departure, although the exact date hasn't been revealed. This is the reason. There were talks about making a big match for WrestleMania. But guess what? Rousey's exit will happen long before that. Back in the day, there is news to hear that Rousey and her tag team partner wanted to conclude her run with a feud. But here is a twit. Rousey's broken arm has thrown a wrench into their plans. Now, if Rousey does return to the UFC, one question that arises is which weight class she would compete in. It'll be exciting to see where she fits in. Well, the lack of competition is the problem. I mean, we want to be the most active champions out there. I want to be able to defend this title every week and even twice a week on both SmackDown and Raw. It's always interesting to hear what fellow fighters have to say about potential comebacks and matchups in the UFC. According to Joanna Jedrzejczyk, if Ronda Rousey were to make a return, she believes Rousey has earned the right to an immediate title shot at bantamweight. On the other hand, UFC fighter Chelsea Chandler has a different take. She believes Rousey will come back at 145 pounds. Her statement caught my attention in no time.
But I've been hearing that Ronda's coming back. And, I mean, I heard she's coming back at 45. You know, if I go out there and put on the performance I plan on putting, I'll welcome her to the 45, and I think it would be a great fight. It has been a long time for her, and things change. People get better, and I think people are over her one-trick pony armbar. But, I mean, money talks, and she would bring eyes to the sport again. And I feel like her time in WWE is starting to go down, so I'd like to see it.
Chandler's remarkable take on Pitbull loss. It's true. Sometimes we don't fully understand the significance of certain events or setbacks in our lives until time has passed. Michael Chandler's change in perspective regarding his loss to Patricio Pitbull is a prime example. Initially, the defeat may have been disappointing and disheartening for him. However, as time went on, Chandler began to realize that it was the greatest thing that happened in his MMA career. Back then, Chandler was the Bellator lightweight champion and was looking to defend his title against Pitbull in a highly anticipated fight. However, in just 61 seconds, Pitbull secured a TKO victory. At the time, it must have been a disappointing and frustrating loss for Chandler. But looking back now, he sees that setback as a pivotal moment in his career. It allowed him to make the transition to the UFC, one of the most prestigious promotions in mixed martial arts. Michael Chandler said in a clip shown on After TUF to his team, "Wouldn't have been able to test free agency, wouldn't have been able to come over right when Khabib was retiring, right whenever I was going to come in, get the title shot, and become who I am standing here. It's literally probably the greatest thing that has happened in my entire career." However, Michael Chandler's perspective on his loss to Patricio Pitbull certainly holds merit. Since joining the UFC, Chandler has had a mixed record with a 2-3 record. He made an impressive debut with a first-round knockout victory. Currently, there are expectations that Chandler will face Conor McGregor after both fighters served as coaches on The Ultimate Fighter, TUF, against one another. Guys, it will be an intriguing matchup. Guys, if you're enjoying the video, we'd love your support. Just hit that subscribe button to motivate us to bring you more exciting content. McGregor on the edge of TUF clean sweep. In a surprising turn of events on TUF, Team McGregor is now just one fight away to make history. But unfortunately, it's not the kind of history you want to be associated with. If McGregor's team suffers another loss, it will mark the first time in TUF history that a coach has experienced a clean sweep. It means 0 wins and all losses. Oops. While the latest defeat came as Landon Quinones suffered a submission loss to Jason Knight from Team Chandler. With that loss, McGregor's coaching record on the show now stands at a daunting 0-7. On the other hand, Michael Chandler's team has been dominant, winning all the matches so far. If they manage to continue their winning streak and sweep McGregor's team, it will be a significant milestone for TUF. After the loss, he made question to White what happens if all strikes are lost.
What happens if it's a clean sweep?
Well, it's never happened. We see if anybody wants to go over to the other team.
It seems like tensions are running high between Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler on The Ultimate Fighter, TUF, set. And yes, it's always entertaining when things heat up between coaches. After that, they didn't hold back as they engaged in a war of words inside the octagon. Damn, it's just the tip of the iceberg. O'Malley responds to Champ's excuse for UFC 292. In the end, tension is making between Sean O'Malley and Aljamain Sterling in the lead-up to UFC 292. Just recently, O'Malley had a chance to respond to Sterling's claim that he would be facing him against his will at the event. That's why it's safe to say that O'Malley wasn't impressed. During a press conference at International Fight Week, O'Malley had some choice words for Sterling's comment. It shows that he didn't take Sterling's statement lightly. With these verbal exchanges, the anticipation for their upcoming fight is certainly building. As the event approaches, let's see how things continue to unfold.
He's been very vocal. He's got some kind of bicep injury or something. Built an excuse to what it sounds like. But he's gonna make the fight. He's gonna make the fight. He's gonna get paid. He's gonna make it there. We'll see how good he shows up. But I do think he's taking this fight very serious. I do think he looks at me as very dangerous. So I expect, the best Aljamain to show up.
Moreover, he made his opinion on YouTube. "People don't understand how much time I put into the sport," said Sterling. "Sometimes you could get a little burned out. Sometimes that can take a lot out of you mentally. That's why after this fight, I had so many things with Henry, so many things planned out, that I just wanted to decompress and stop thinking about fighting for once because I do so much to get to the fight and prep myself to mentally get ready for battle." However, Sean O'Malley will face Aljamain Sterling for the UFC bantamweight title at UFC 292 on August 19, 2023 at TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts, USA. All right, guys, that's all for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. See you at the next one. Until then, goodbye.